Hi, friends. We are in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. Thank you, Courtney, for sponsoring this episode of Gene and Renee Travel Adventures. A little bit later in the video, we'll show you where we stayed. We'll show you the Boyertown Bungalow that Courtney and her husband run, and we'll put a link in the description so that you can check it out if you're in the area as well. We highly recommend them. They're good folks. All right, going to show you around Boyertown a little bit today, and then we're headed to Dover, Delaware. We appreciate you traveling with us on this journey as we've kind of gone full circle. We started in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, went up to Niagara Falls, went up across Canada, all the way over to Prince Edward Island, to Nova Scotia, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Connecticut, and Massachusetts, and back into Pennsylvania again, and then headed back to Virginia after Dover, Delaware. In case you're wondering where Boyertown is, it is to the northwest of Philadelphia, and it's to the east of Reading. So get out your map and check it out. Boyertown looks like a nice town. Look forward to showing it to you. If you're like us, you wonder as you drive through Pennsylvania what the difference is between towns, townships, boroughs, and cities, or anything else that they might have. Okay, class, are you ready for a quick civics lesson? I'll make it short. Obviously, this won't explain all the differences, but it will give us a little explanation. Evidently, you pay taxes in the county of your residence and you pay taxes to your local municipality. There are 67 counties in Pennsylvania. There is just one incorporated town in Pennsylvania, and that's Bloomsburg, located north of Harrisburg and Reading. They're governed by 6 elected council members and a mayor who votes within council. Next step up are townships. There are 1,546 townships in Pennsylvania, which are separated into 2 classes. If they have 300 or more people per square mile, they can hold an election to move up to first-class status. Townships are the oldest form of government in America. They are governed by supervisors or commissioners. Depending on whether you're a first-class or second-class township determines how many elected commissioners you have. First-class townships can choose to elect commissioners by wards instead of at large. Next, we move up to boroughs. A borough, no, not that kind, is an incorporated political subdivision, but smaller than a city. Pennsylvania has 959 boroughs, and most have populations under 5,000. Boroughs are governed by an elected council. The mayor is mostly responsible for oversight of law enforcement, but they can vote to break a tie in a council. The council can appoint a manager to run the borough and carry out their policies. When a borough has at least 10,000 people, they can ask to become a city by popular vote. There are 56 cities in Pennsylvania. There are 4 classes of cities determined by population. There's only one first-class city, and that kind of depends upon what you call a first-class city. But in this case, it means a population of over 1 million. That city is Philadelphia. Okay, you got it? Understand now? It's as clear as mud to me. Boyertown is a pretty little town. But I'd be wrong in saying that because it's a borough. But it's really neat, and there are plenty of places to shop, plenty of places to eat. We pass by a lot of farmers markets, and this is one of those farmers markets. Went inside of it. They've been doing it since 1944. Fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, and you can get sandwiches made. You can get, hey, they had some great coffee there. I did get some coffee, and all kinds of cool stuff. Something else that's really cool is there are some trains in town, and we had to stop and take a look at those and take a look. Man, it's really, really cool. They've got the locomotive, they've got the caboose, they've got some passenger cars. Really, really neat. And they have like an old, I guess, a ticket stand or where you'd buy your tickets from there at a depot. What an amazing find. This fully renovated bungalow is a must-stay. Located within walking distance to the Manatawny Creek Near plenty of activities and great places to eat, the Boyertown Bungalow is nestled between 3 other bungalows located on the edge of their 3-acre property. Plenty of parking and pets are always welcome. It has an open floor plan with plenty of bohemian touches, fully stocked kitchen ready for you to cook or store your DoorDash leftovers. The living room has plenty of space with a 45-inch TV, sleeper sectional, and games. Bedroom features a comfortable queen bed with ample closet and dresser storage, large cute bathroom with amenities. Thank you again, Courtney and Corey at the Boyertown Bungalow, for sponsoring this episode of Gene and Renee Travel Adventures. Now, let's go back into Boyertown. I want to show you the Antique Car Museum. It really was quite a find. We were just driving through town and saw this sign for the Boyertown Museum of Historic Vehicles. We weren't really looking for it, didn't know anything about it, really. I mean to tell you, if you are on the East Coast, you're anywhere within a couple of 100 miles, this is worth your trip. The Boyertown Museum of Historic Vehicles preserves and educates about their local road transportation history. Almost all of the vehicles, from cars and trucks to wagons and carriages, were built in Pennsylvania. And they also count automotive literature and memorabilia among their collection. A lot to see here. You will see vehicles of all types: gasoline, electric, horse-drawn, including carriages, wagons, and sleighs. You will see high-wheelers and safety bicycles. Now, in addition to the vehicles, they also have a 1938 diner and a 1921 Sunoco gas station. The museum is housed in the former home of the Boyertown Auto Body Works, which had continuous operations on that site from 1872 to 1990, and it retains that factory setting, making it a unique and interesting setting for the vehicles. In addition, the original 1872 Jeremiah Swinehart Carriage Factory, where vehicle building began in Boyertown, still stands and is part of the museum complex. The folks we met there that day were just the nicest people you would ever want to meet. Darlene and Dan and Autumn. In fact, Autumn will give us the tour of certain parts of the building that you're going to see.
Or else you get rid of stuff for you, like you come and look at all our stuff. Mark. It's quite interesting.
So we are currently standing in our 1872 Jeremiah Swinehart Carriage Factory. This is really where our site history begins here at the Boyertown Museum of Historic Vehicles. In 1872, a local man, Jeremiah Swinehart, started this carriage factory, and they did all kinds of custom work. They built buggies, sleighs, wagons, and things like that. Over the years, the business changed hands. In 1884, it became the Boyertown Carriage Works, where they continued to manufacture and build different types of carriages for the local area and the state. In 1926, the business was purchased by a man named Frank Hafer and Howard Schwartz, and they renamed it the Boyertown Auto Body Works. That's really what we're known for here today, is the Boyertown Auto Body Works history. So when you guys come into the museum, you are standing right here where these vehicles were built, which really makes our museum unique compared to other car museums. Here in Pennsylvania, we have a lot of vehicle history, but again, coming into our museum really tells the story because you're standing right here where our trucks were manufactured. So the Boyertown Auto Body Works was known for manufacturing trucks. We manufactured delivery trucks, food trucks. We even had an electric division where we did a lot of work for the government. We were known for our step vans and campers. You can see examples of all of those pieces right here in our collection in the Boyertown Museum of Historic Vehicles. We have an original forge up here in our carriage factory from 1872. It's one of 7 original forges. Lots of different types of modes of transport in our collection. Everything from bicycles to the trucks that I just described to you. We also have 2 examples of roadside architecture. We have our 1921 Sun Oil gas station and our 1938 Reading Fagley's Diner, which is really a unique piece in our museum and really one of the gems of our collection. That diner was very famous and sat up on 422, not too far from here, for many, many years. And the 1921 Sunoco was originally in use in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So again, all different types of modes of transport, including bicycles and motorcycles here in our museum collection. Another thing that makes our museum unique is our collection of Duryea autos. We have one of the largest collections in the state and in the country of Duryea automobiles. Charles Duryea, who's pictured back here, started out in bicycle manufacturing up north in Massachusetts, and him and his brother worked together for many years, but they really did not get along. Charles moved down here to Reading, Pennsylvania, which is right in our backyard here in Boyertown, and he started manufacturing gasoline-powered vehicles. What makes him unique is, and it's easy to forget, but at this time, you could do anything to a vehicle, right? You didn't have to have a turn signal. You were very free in your choices while designing vehicles, and he really took advantage of that. We have a 3-wheeled cycle car that called the Duryea Gem that he built in 1917. And the other pieces here that we have, the other Duryeas, you will notice that they do not have a steering wheel. Charles did not like steering wheels. He did not like the fact that it limited the driver to one side or the other. And he wanted to eliminate the task it was to start a vehicle at this time. So instead of pushing many pedals and steering and all of this, he developed the tiller, which is kind of an early joystick, if you will, right in the center of the vehicles there. You can see that tiller, and that does everything. It allows the car to go and stop, it shifts, really does everything right there with that tiller. So that kind of makes him unique among other car manufacturers of the time. And again, he built them right here in Reading, Pennsylvania. We consider Reading to really be the pre-Detroit. Lots and lots of vehicle manufacturing is happening right here in Berks County, Pennsylvania.
Welcome to the Boyertown Museum of Historic Vehicles. History was made here. In fact, you are standing in the former factory building of the Boyertown Auto Body Works, which has its roots all the way back to 1872. You are about to take a walk through road transportation history, from bicycles to electric cars, and to see the innovations that envision today's vehicles. Yes, it's all right here in the museum.
Before we take our walk through history, we ask you to not climb on or touch the exhibits. Thank you for doing your part to preserve our vehicles. Now let's begin your transportation journey. Bicycles not only made getting there faster, but they were a form of women's liberation. As you continue your passage, notice the iconic Conestoga wagon. It was built in nearby Burnville, Pennsylvania. By the way, about 95% of the collection you'll see today was manufactured in whole or in part in Pennsylvania. As you gaze up, look up. Notice the horse-drawn sleighs. Be sure to take in our whole carriage display in our carriage shop, located on the second floor at the back of the museum. From horse-drawn vehicles to bicycles, innovation comes in many stages. The hill car was literally a motorized or horseless carriage. Inventor James Hill was just 13 years old when he started building this car in 1872, making it one of the very first automobiles built in the United States. Charles and Frank Duryea built the first commercially available car in Massachusetts in 1892, but alas, sibling rivalry doomed the partnership, and Charles moved to Reading, Pennsylvania in 1900. There, Charles started the Duryea Power Company, which built unique 2- and 3-cylinder gasoline automobiles. You'll see one of the largest collections of Duryea automobiles here in our museum. There were over 2,000 car and truck manufacturers in the early days of the industry. Unfortunately, most of the names of these companies have faded into history. You'll see a wide variety of Pennsylvania's early automotive builders here at the museum and the amazing innovations they made. Check out the 1913 SGV touring car with push-button transmission that predated Chrysler Corporation's 1956 push-button transmissions. Enter the electric car. Yes, electric cars are over 100 years old. These two are from 1919, and no crank starting required. Marketed towards high society women, electric cars were limited by their range per charge and their lack of passenger and storage space. Turn the corner and you'll start to see some more luxurious examples of Pennsylvania automobiles and coachwork. Daniels, Fleetwood Metal Body Works, and Durham Body Company were all Pennsylvania companies that catered to the upper class. From carriages and Conestoga wagons to trucks, Pennsylvania, and even the building you are standing in, helped form transportation in America. The Jeremiah Swinehart Carriage Factory changed with advancing technology, and in 1926 became the Boyertown Auto Body Works. This building was once bustling with activity as trucks were built and moved from the assembly line. The Boyertown Auto Body Works never stopped innovating either, winning the Army-Navy E Award for its contribution to World War II, building a fleet of postal trucks in 1950 and used all over the country, and even delving into recreational vehicles and remote broadcasting trucks. In 1967, the Body Works took another bold step by forming the Baytronic Division, which built electric-powered delivery trucks and buses. These vehicles were built right here in this building. Motorized vehicles made moving faster, and new businesses were also established to service the cars, trucks, and motorcycles that replaced horses. Gas refilling stations and diners popped up around the country to refuel vehicles and refresh the people who operated them. Don't miss our Sun Oil, now known as Sunoco, along the back wall of the gallery. Just beyond the gas station is a diner. Go in, have a seat, let your imagination run free to smell the food cooking, and listen to the banter of the waitresses and customers as they found refreshment.
Thank you for visiting us today. We hope you enjoy your journey through history.
Thank you again, Courtney and Corey of the Boyertown Bungalow, for sponsoring this episode of Gene and Renee Travel Adventures. We'll put a link in the comment and description section so that you can check out their Airbnb. If you've not already done so, we would consider it an honor if you would ring that bell and subscribe, hit the like button, and share. We appreciate you joining us on the journey. Our next stop will be in Dover, Delaware.